Welcome back to part 4 of issue 14. And as you can see, we've got some cabling in here. So that fills that in nicely. And I also put this conduit piece in there, and that's all glued in. I just pretty much just glued the crap out of it on the back side, both the cabling part, and it's just got a lot of different glue and stuff in there. And glued all along the edges here, so a lot of surface contact there. I went ahead and got this painted. I am going to do like a black line or something on there just to kind of add a little bit of something. And I did add some detail paint. Let's see if you guys can see that. I got some silver, some like lighter gray, some darker gray that I did on the outside there. I did some silver there. Also did a touch of darker gray in the middle, just to add some detail. And just a little bit of dry brushing on there. So we got some details going, and so that'll help, I think. Also did a little bit of rust along through here, just to kind of add some character to it. So, question is, what are we going to do now? Well, now I need to do two things. I need to figure out where this conduit is going to go, this piping. So we need to figure that out so we can get our hole drilled and ready to go. And we also need to measure for this little vestibule or closet or whatever you want to call it. We got to get that measured and figured out where that's going to go. I don't know how many of you guys have watched Rebels. It's the series as it was on Disney HD, and it takes place before A New Hope, and say about 4 or 5 years before A New Hope, and pretty good series actually. It was done by Dave Filoni, who's also the one that did the Clone Wars series. Not really the Clone Wars movie, the series that they just came out with the new season, the final season. And he did Rebels. It is a fantastic series. I have not seen the final season, the 4th season, I think it is. I have not seen it, and I've been listening to I'm going to just use a marker here and mark my hole. I've been listening to Thrawn, the audiobook for Thrawn, the 3rd Thrawn audiobook, not the old Heir to the Empire series. This is the new Thrawn book. So there's, see if you can see this. Maybe not, a little shadow. There's a spot. Right there's where we're going to put our hole. So it's the new Thrawn series that Timothy Zahn did, basically to bring Thrawn back into the fold of things. And anyway, so he was in the Rebel series, so you get to actually see Thrawn, which is cool. That helps demonstrate that they're bringing him in. And I can't see where. Oh, there it is. When the light's just right, that black blends in if you're at the wrong angle. Unfortunately, I took my drill bits back outside, so I'll have to bring in a drill bit and drill that, but we got it marked. That's important. But anyway, so Thrawn's in the Rebels. Came in like season 3, I think. And so that's pretty cool. Well, listening to the 3rd Thrawn book, I think it takes place before the final season of Rebels. I'm not sure. But so it prompted me to want to watch that final season. And the reason why I hadn't watched it before was after watching The Last Jedi, I was greatly disappointed and frustrated, so I decided not to watch it. But it was such a good series that I think I need to go back and watch it, especially in light of how well Mandalorian was. So I'm going to have to check that out. So anyway, I got my daughter to watch it with me, so we started clear back at the beginning, and she was a little reluctant at first. She's kind of anti TV watching, and she really enjoys it. So yeah, we watched about like 6 or 7 episodes the other night. Anyway, let's try to figure out what we got going on here. Here we go. Now we can cut out a piece here, and we're going to do cut the floor first. So, how was everybody's 4th? Mine was pretty good. I went to my cousin's house, and we had several of us there, family members. We all brought some food, kind of like a potluck type of thing. He smoked a brisket. He used pecan. He smoked it with pecan wood. That was pretty interesting. Pretty good, I'll tell you that. My dad did some baked beans, and I always love his baked beans. And my daughter, she found out that she loves my potato skins. So I did cheese and bacon potato skins. And yeah, it was a good time. Fired off a bunch of fireworks. In fact, I don't know if you guys can see this. You see all these brown marks on my hand? I think that's from lighting off fireworks. I'm not sure, but yeah, it's kind of weird. I got all these brown marks all over my hand, and I was talking to my cousin. He doesn't have any. Well, I don't. There was nothing else that I would have messed with. I've tried washing my hands, and it hasn't come off yet, so my hands are kind of stained, I guess. Now, I'm not going to glue this down onto the wall until I get everything kind of fine-tuned where I want to go. I need to figure out how to close this part off. And so that's going to take a little bit of something, a little bit of creativity or whatnot. So I'm thinking about just making it go straight up like this. I think that would be pretty okay. Although you might be able to see it through here, so that's probably not the best. If we tick it in a little bit, we could probably do that. So, I need to figure out how tall this is. Okay. You can see that. So that first line past the 42. First line past the 42 there. Let's just make this one the same as we did before. So I need some more of these braces. Let me show you how easy this is. There we go. There's that. We'll just clean these edges up a little bit. And now, all we have to do is we just come to the corner like this, and we're just going to cut straight down. And it slices really well. A lot easier than trying to cut through the entire thing. There we go. Just like that, we have two corner braces. Okay, and then what I do, so you can see there's a little bit of a lip there. So I just come back in, and I'm just gonna sand down that lip until it's smooth. So we got pipes and stuff we got to put in here. So like, for instance, this pipe's got to go in here. We're just going to make sure we get this pipe cut to the right length. And it's just a little bit long. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is why you measure twice and cut once. There we go. Welcome back, everybody. So I've got the little cubby hole built out. It's primed and the primer is drying. And I've moved on to a couple of detail parts. So I've already made this one. And let's see. Can I see my mark? Yeah, okay. So I've made this cable. And this cable will fit into this spot right here. There's a little bit of trimming left to do, but it's going to go right there. And you can see all these marks on here. Those will go away, obviously. And like I said, I'll trim this a little bit. Let me grab my... You can see how long this end is. It doesn't need to be near that long because of where I'm putting it. So as you can see, I've got this duct here, and I've got the wiring in there. I think the wiring looks pretty good. And so, like I said, I did a lot of that on the off camera. So, like I said, I've gone ahead and made this one, and this one will get glued in right like that. And I'm in the process of making this second one, and I've got it right here, and it's going to go in up here. And let me show you the picture, and I'll highlight the two cables I'm talking about. The picture's right here, and as you can see, those two highlighted cables. And so this cable runs up along the top. I don't think either one really do anything special, but I'm going to take this cable and I'm going to run it over to here. So like I said, I've already got most of it done, but I did want to show you how I'm doing this. I'm doing it a little bit different than what I did with those cables. These cables over here, I'm doing it differently. Those I just used my lighter and melted them. That was rather brutal, right? It was very aggressive and all that kind of stuff. I found that a soldering iron gives me a little bit better control. So what I can do is I can just take my soldering iron, and it's hot enough. I mean, this is like 700 some odd degrees. I can just kind of come in here and get it hot, and it'll melt down a little bit. So we can see I melted it a little bit, probably more than I really needed to. And so one of the reasons why I want to do that is because I want to add kind of like it's on hangers or something like that, right? So we melted it down that way, and now I need to go back the other direction and just very gently get it to melt and then pull the heat away. Right, so that's a little bit too much. Get it to melt somewhere in the middle here, and we can kind of tell it to go back after we get it to move a little bit. Okay, so as you can see, that was quite a bit, but if we keep kind of working at it, we can kind of get it to where we want it. Right, so like I said, this one here was a bit too much. So what I can do is I'll just heat it up and then put some pressure on it, and it'll relax a little bit, and I can take some of that bend out. Now after you get it hot, you have to kind of let it set a little bit, and that will then it'll kind of taper off a little bit. Okay, so while we have it like this, we want to kind of, let me set my soldering iron down before I burn myself. We want to kind of mark out where our next kind of bend is going to be or what have you. So if we want to make it look like we kind of have it on hangers, so I'm going to put one here, and we're going to bend it down that way. So we can we want to hold it the way it's sitting up there, right? So hold on. There we go. My cord was all tangled up. I'm not real close to a power cord here, so we're going to kind of bend it back down. We want to kind of hold it the way it's going to be sitting up there, so there we go. We're starting to bend. There we go. And that probably more or less just leveled it off. And I've been kind of going little by little as I do this. So, yeah, so I need to bend it just a little bit more because I just kind of leveled it off. And we want it to kind of really start drooping down a little bit. All right. There we go. So that kind of looks like it's on some sort of a wire hanger. Now I can even go down a little bit farther because I'm going to run this in to the bottom over here. I might run it in. You can see there's a bit of a gap there. I might run it into there. So let's try to get an idea of how we need to bend it to make that happen. So we're just going to set it in here the way we want it. It actually doesn't need to bend much more, just a tad, I think. And then we can just put it right in underneath there. So there we go, just a little bit. Now I found that after you get it to move, if you want to do gradual moves, make sure you set it down and put a little bit of pressure on it, and then keep the heat away, and that'll help it cool off pretty quick. Otherwise, it'll keep moving for quite a while. Well, there we go. So that, I think, is going to work pretty well. I'm not going to like model any kind of actual hangers. I'm just going to kind of give the feeling like there's hangers or something on it. I want it to have, I don't want it to be, because if you notice from the picture, those cables are not like neat at all. So I don't want these to be neat either. So let's get an idea of where to cut it and get this held up there where we want it, like that. And we'll cut it just a smidge long. We'll see if we can fit it down inside there. There we go. All right. Now let's see if we can get this down inside there. If not, no big deal. Yeah. A little bit of glue will hold that down, and I think that'll look pretty good. So there you go. I might try to do something to get a little bit of this bend out. To do that, we got to kind of roll it over. And you can see it's kind of wavery like this a little bit if we look down it. So looks like the biggest offender is down on this end. So we'll just see if we can't take some of that bend out of it. Not really moving. There we go. I think it moved a little bit. All right, let's just... I may have to taper this end here so it'll fit in this spot a little bit, because obviously that's not made for it, but this seemed like a nice little spot to put it. This back where we want it a little bit. I think it's probably because that's... Let's see if this helps. I take the right side off. Helps a little bit. There we go. I think that's going to help a lot more. Yeah, that sets right in there. And now if we take this other one, that one fits in here and comes down there. And heck, the last one, the one I just got done finishing, fits in there a little bit better. But this one will fit in pretty good too. So I'll just put a fair amount of glue on here to hold those in place. And there you go. I got some custom wiring. I just got to figure out what colors I'm going to do. I'll probably do one, maybe this color. I can't see the picture from here, but I'll figure out the colors. I think one's kind of a darker gray and one's a lighter gray. But I want them to stand out. So if I do the darker gray on the top, which I think that one's supposed to be darker gray, it would kind of clash with this back wall. I went with a darker color on the walls than what I think it's supposed to be, but that's okay. We'll adjust fire. So I might do this one darker because it'll stand out more against this lighter material, and then do this one up here the lighter color. So there you go. I wanted to share that. When we come back, I think I'll come back and I'll have all of this put together. So we'll have the pipes in, and this one I've got my markers here to mark, but I need to get finish getting that vestibule painted up so I can figure out how tall to cut this at and where to paint those the red and blue marks. So we'll get that done, and we'll be able to move on from there. All right, see you at the end. Welcome back, everybody. So here we are with our final part of issue 14. So here we go. Here is our little vestibule. I've painted it the same color as the walls. I did scuff up the top here and the bottom here so I could glue in this piece, this pipe. I also put plugs in the ends to help give a little bit more gluing surface. I don't know how well it's going to help. And I don't know exactly if this is the right spot for this. Of course, this thing doesn't seem to want to be tall enough right there, but we're going to try it anyway. So what I want to do is I want to try to test fit this in this spot, because the big problem that I have is I have this one as well, which you can see I put the stripes on it, and this one is going to go in here as well. So we need both of these to go in here, and I need this one to be able to be seen. Okay, let's try this. Let's see if we can't put this in here. I just want to see how it's going to look if it's going to be seen right there. So try to get it positioned the way we want it, and yeah, I think we'll see it if it's right there. May have to push it quite a bit forward. The big problem will be where this is going to go. So I don't want to dilly-dally around too much. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to put these pipes on. As you can see, I painted them different colors. We'll get these pipes put on first. and then we'll move on. So let's go ahead and get going. All right. There we go. There's the cables. So as I mentioned yesterday, I was going to go dark with this one and lighter with this top one. Helps this top one kind of stand out a little bit. So, and this darker one helps it stand out. So there we have those. Now, definitely not the moment I'm waiting for. Trying to figure this out. So. I think that's better. Unfortunately, this pipe really needs to be over that way, which I can move it this way. I can put it wherever I want. I think that's better. What do you think? Yeah. The only thing is if I move it over there, I don't get any kind of a gluing surface, but that's okay. I could put a bead of glue down along there. And with that, I think that it's time to go ahead and glue this down. So I'm going to put some glue on these pads here, and we're going to glue that down. I'll say these two are in place pretty well, which is good. I'm glad that happened. And I just want to get some of this paint off of the bottom, just so I have some glueable surface there. Okay. All right. So, and I'm just going to take this, and I'm going to just stick it down in the hole here. Get some glue in there. Now this one I drilled all the way through, so if I have to, I can come back with some glue from the underside. And I'm going to get my tweezers here and hopefully do this right the first time. I don't want to have to fight this thing. And I'm just going to stick it in the hole and stick it in that spot. There we go. There we go. Now same for this one. We're just going to get some glue on this end here. And I'm just going to put this in that hole and kind of hold it there for a minute. There we go. And the last little bit is we can set this in place. All the major parts of the cargo hold have been completed. So I've got some plans for just some, putting some barrels and boxes and that kind of stuff in there, because that's really going to add a lot of character to this. But I would say I'm very happy with this. You notice I painted this. I just painted it with the primer. I might go ahead and primer this as well. If I do, I'll mask this part off. I'm going to leave this part open so it does get some light. That way it looks like there's light there, but this was already dark, so I wanted that to stay dark. So, yeah, I'm pretty pleased with that. I don't think I could have done better, unless I got one of the 3D printed ones, and I didn't want to do that. So, I'm pretty pleased with myself. I think I did a pretty good job. So there you go. Hopefully y'all enjoyed that. I half expected there to be a door here, but I don't think there is. So let's just make sure that we got everything done. Well, we know we got more than everything done. So here we go. Put the ring in, put the door on, put it in place. That's it. Boom. Done. That's all you had to do. We did that. All right, so next time, issue 15, we're going to be getting some rings here, some more framework, ribs, some more paneling, or hull plating, and all the stuff for these rings. So maybe that's what we're going to be putting together. If we do, that'll be a quick video. So, all right, this has been a very long series, and I appreciate everybody for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Let me know in the comments what you think. Let me know if you think there was something I could have done better, different, whatever. But I'm pretty happy with it. I like how it came out. I wish it would have gone a little bit faster, but I'm still pretty happy with it. All right. Thanks, everybody. Bye.